So in this video, we're going to take a quick look at how to write a very, very small number in standard form or scientific notation. So before we go any further, let's just revise something that's really important for this, and that is negative exponents. So we should know already that 10 cubed means 10 times 10 times 10, which obviously is 1,000. We know what 10 squared is, and we should know what 10 to the 1 is as well. So we're going to have 10 squared is 10 times 10, and 10 to the 1 is just 10 on its own. Okay, so carrying on this pattern a little bit further, we can work out what 10 to the 0 is. Now, we can do that by thinking about what's happening between the lines of this pattern. So as I move down from line to line, it's a bit like I'm dividing by 10. I'm getting rid of one of those timesing 10s. So that's the same as dividing by 10. So if I'm carrying on this pattern even further, well, 10 to the 0 is going to end up being 10 divided by 10. Well, that is just going to be 1, of course, right? So 10 to the 0 is 1. And if I carry that pattern on even further than that, if I do 1 divided by 10, I'm going to get 0.1. And 10 to the minus 2, dividing that by another 10 is going to be 0.01. Let's do one more. 10 to the minus 3 is 0.001. Okay, now, that is very useful. It's going to help us write things in standard form. And it's also just an important point to note that when I had a minus 1, I still have like 1 0 there. And when I had minus 2, I do have 2 zeros. It's just that one of them is to the left of the decimal place at all times, okay? When I had minus 3, I did have 3 zeros. And of course, when I times by 10 to the minus 1, I'm pushing the number 1 space. When I'm timesing by 10 to the minus 2, I'm still pushing a number by 2 spaces. It's just the direction has changed. So let's take a look now at some numbers and see if we can think about writing them with negative exponents. So let's start with a number such as 0.03. So I want to think about my idea of standard form again. So I need to have a number between 1 and 10 at the start. And I've got a number, it's 3, and we're going to write that at the start. So I know that I'm going to have 3 times 10, and we need to work out the power here. Now, 3 times 0.01 is 0.03. So this is my power of 10. This is 3 times 10 to the minus 2. Now I've written my answer, my small number, in standard form. Let's do another one. 0.00048. What could that be? Well, the number at the front between 1 and 10 is going to be 4.8. It's my only option. Now I've got to think what I'm timesing by here. Well, that is going to be 4.8 times 0.0001. Now, if I'm doing that, okay, I'm counting how many, what power of 10 that is, and of course, it is 10 to the minus 4. Okay, now you've hopefully got the idea of this and understand why it's working. Let's jump in now and see if we can spot some tricks on how to do this a little bit simpler. So first of all, we're going to take our number. Let's make one up again. So 0.072. And we're going to write that number between 1 and 10 first. And as I said before, clearly it's got to be 7.2 because that's the only way we can have 0.072 multiplying by some power of 10. Right, so clearly that's got to be there. The only thing to work out is what is the power of 10. Now, because we are a small number, it's definitely going to be a negative exponent. And what we're going to do is we're going to count in the opposite direction to the first video. We originally had the decimal place there, look, or we have it there now. 1, 2 spaces back to what it should be. So it's going to be 7.2 times 10 to the minus 2. Okay, let's do another one of these. 0.0004918. Okay, well, our number at the front is going to have to be 4.918. Otherwise, it won't be between 1 and 10. To work out that power of 10, we're going to go back to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, between where we put that decimal place and where it should be. It's going to be 10 to the minus 5. Let's do one more of these. Let's do something like this. What about just having 8.23? Well, my number's already between 1 and 10, so let's not change it. We're going to keep the decimal place as it is, but we haven't moved it, which means there's nothing to count. So it's just going to be 10 to the 0. So be aware, any number, even one that doesn't need to be written in standard form, could be written in standard form if necessary. Let's do one more again. I can't stop. Right, 0.004. This is going to be 4 times 10, 1, 2. Excuse me, 3, because it was there, look, okay. It's going to be 4 times 10 to the minus 3. Okay, so that helps us to write numbers in standard form if they're very small. What about the reverse? So what about if I started with 4.8 times 10 to the minus 5 and wanted to work out what that would be as a regular number? So similar to last time, we're going to write the 4 and the 8, but we're going to put numbers to the left of them because I can clearly see we've got a negative index. I'm going to be counting and moving that decimal place to the left. So originally it was there. Let's count 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The decimal place should be there. We're going to write that out now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 4 and an 8. And there we are. We've written our number in regular format. Okay, I hope that helps you to understand and to write small numbers in standard form.